finding him under the influence and in possession of marijuana. According to the arrest report, officers responded to a welfare check on an unresponsive male in the driver's seat of a running vehicle in the parking lot of Travelodge on North Dodge Street. He was identified as 31-year-old Cody Doyle of Hannibal, Missouri. A one-hitter marijuana pipe with residue was reportedly observed between Doyle's legs on the driver's seat. Officers noticed the smell of marijuana coming from the car, and they say they located a silver tin inside the vehicle with marijuana buds inside. Doyle also allegedly had a purple grinder with marijuana residue in it. Officers reportedly noticed open beer cans in the vehicle around Doyle, as well as a bag of empty beer cans outside the vehicle. Doyle was described as having bloodshot, watery eyes, slurred speech, and the smell of ingested alcohol. He refused field sobriety and chemical testing. A check of Doyle's driving record showed 2 previous OWIs from 2013 and 2015. He's now charged with third offense OWI, as well as marijuana possession and possession of drug paraphernalia. If convicted on all counts, he could be sentenced to over 6 years in prison. The staircases for the Iowa City Tower Place parking ramp on Iowa Avenue will be impacted throughout January to allow for repairs and new paint. A news release from the city says the west stairs and elevator facing Lynn Street are currently closed through Friday, January 19th. Stairwell and elevator service in the east stairwell will be maintained during this time. The east stairs and elevator facing Gilbert Street are scheduled to be closed from Monday, January 22nd through Friday, January 26th. Stairwell and elevator service in the west stairwell will be maintained during this time. The dates are dependent on the weather. In sports, the 4th-ranked Iowa women's basketball team travels to Rutgers on Friday. Tip-off is set for 5 o'clock inside a sold-out Jersey Mike's Arena in Piscataway, New Jersey. You can see that game on the Big Ten Network. The top-ranked University of Iowa women's wrestling team travels to the Unidome in Cedar Falls this weekend to compete at the NWCA National Duels Friday and Saturday. The Hawkeyes are entered in as the 2nd seed, following previous 2023 National Duel champions, North Central College. The NWCA National Duels will be streamed live on FlowWrestling.com. A subscription is required. We'll talk more Hawkeye sports Friday morning at 9 on the HawkFanatic.com segment, right here on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. The City High girls basketball game that had been scheduled for Friday night at City High has been postponed. No makeup date has been scheduled. The 15th-ranked Little Hawks were set to take on Waterloo West. That was scheduled to be KCJJ's game this week, so our next high school basketball game will now be Tuesday night as Regina hosts Mid-Prairie for a girls-boys doubleheader at 6:30. You can find our remaining basketball schedule online at 1630kcjj.com and on the KCJJ app under High School Sports. With KCJJ News, I'm Tommy Lang.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. For tonight, a cloudy sky, lows in the mid-20s. And for tomorrow, we'll look for more clouds, highs to the mid-30s. Some flurries develop tomorrow night, still carrying over into Saturday morning. Then mostly cloudy Saturday afternoon, highs in the upper 20s. A few more flurries develop tomorrow night, then partly sunny and mid-30s Sunday. That's your KCJJ forecast. Right now it's 33.
Hello.
Hello.
1630 KCJJ. This is Molly Suter and the other girl.
It's me, Cindy.
The other girl.
That other girl.
The other girl. Nobody's in the chat room.
That was what I was.
Anyway, but
They'll be there soon enough.
I have something to bring up immediately just because this headline just floated across my Twitter feed. Have you heard about the person during a play of Hamlet, a production of Hamlet, and they opened up their laptop and started answering emails, and so the actor on stage stopped what they were doing.
What the heck?
Why are you answering emails on your laptop in a theater? I don't get it. So I completely am 100% on the actor side in this. I'd be like, I'm not going to perform for y'all if you are answering emails while I am, like, performing art for you.
I mean, was this like a paid... like, they paid for their ticket.
Yes, this is Andrew Scott, who is playing Hamlet. Andrew Scott is an actor. Did you watch season 2 of Fleabag? He was the priest.
Oh my god, I love him.
I know, I did too.
I think he's gay in real life.
No, he is. But, like, that doesn't matter.
It matters to me because I totally wanted to have sex with him.
No, this story doesn't... His orientation does not matter in this story. He was performing and someone was being completely disrespectful. But anyway, this news headline is, sending emails during Hamlet. Obsession with theater etiquette could turn audiences away. What the? It's like, but is the relentless debate on audience etiquette in danger of making theater seem like a place with too many rules? It should be an unwritten rule that you don't explicitly take out your laptop and start answering emails while you're at a production that you paid for.
Yeah.
Why are you working while you're at a play? That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I would have a little sympathy if it was like you got your phone out real quick and you're just checking it and put it back and then you got yelled at. That always embarrasses me, but I'm also kind of like, come on, give me a break. This is 2024 now, and we're all attached to our devices. But to bring your laptop
with the intention of checking it and, like, distracting everybody in the theater, not just the actor on stage. Which, in order for them to see you, you have to be really, really close.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, imagine paying, like, you're in the third row for Hamlet. Like, those seats are not cheap, and you pull out your laptop and start, like, working. Why? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't, like, to take I mean, I don't get my laptop out much at all.
No, because I have a little tiny computer right here.
Exactly. I'd rather use my phone or my iPad than grab the computer, but like it takes a good minute and a half to open it all, get it started.
Yeah,
the light is really bright.
Exactly. I don't get it.
And why are you like
there's so much of
there's a lot of questions.
There's a lot of that
person
that
should have
just
actually the usher should have come by and just kicked that person out.
Well, I'm not entirely certain they didn't. I don't know any further details other than this headline. What Andrew Scott said himself.
Hot priest is what we're calling him.
And priest or
priest.
Priest.
I think he was a priest because he wasn't supposed to have sex.
He was a priest. He wasn't supposed to have sex, but he did anyway. That was like the entire part. I mean, I just spoiled it, but like they have.
Okay,
sex.
First of all, it's been out for a very long time, and everyone should be watching Fleabag because it's amazing.
Do you know what? I didn't watch season 1. I just watched season 2 because people told me that it was hot. And
okay, he was very hot,
and it was.
And if I had to choose a season, I would choose season 2 because of the priest.
Duh.
And I don't even I get nervous around ministerial collars. So for me to say that this guy's hot, and I know he's just playing an actor,
hot.
But he's playing a priest.
No, he's a charming guy. It's not just physical. He's a charming guy, and it adds to it.
Yeah, and he's just as messy as she is, which I enjoyed.
Anyway, watch season 2 of Fleabag.
It's called Fleabag. Everybody's a mess. It's wonderful.
Especially her. I love her.
I very much. She very much resonated with my mental state, and actually some of the things that she did too. But
so I don't like her haircut. Her hair's too short. I don't think it really complemented her face, but that's part of her charm.
She's
a mess.
Yeah. That whole family's a mess.
But anyway, here's a PSA in case it doesn't.
I just don't understand. I don't even like bringing a purse when I go out. Can you imagine bringing your laptop bag to a play that you paid for?
No.
And had good seating, and you're lugging around this piece of luggage, basically.
Someone just texted me. He said, I understand what you're saying, but that at the same time, that actor ruined all the others' event as well. And that is true, but however, like, pulling out your laptop is extremely disrespectful to the actor, your fellow audience members. So I would argue that the laptop user ruined the
I would
thing.
argue that more actors need to point this kind of crap
agree.
out, because
I agree.
it's only happened a handful of times, and everyone kind of like is, mad at the actor for doing it, and it's like, because I think it's because we live in a society where you just shut up and be polite when somebody's being rude to you.
Yeah, but no, this kind of etiquette can't be either encouraged or tolerated. I don't think it should be tolerated.
I think that they should put more ushers out there to like kind of gauge that and then get rid of the problem before it.
Like,
Yeah.
even in movie theaters, I don't use my phone. The only exception I have is if I dropped my keys or dropped something and I have to use like a flashlight for a second to locate it. That's what I did when I saw Anyone But You over last weekend, and that was it. And then the phone was off again because I found the keys. And that was it. But otherwise, I have it completely off. That's part of the reason why I like going to movies, so I can shut my phone off and like fully commit to the
Right.
movie. Because if I'm watching at home, I'm also scrolling.
That's true. Yeah.
I can't help it.
Well, and that's true too. And it's like we need to, like, as humans in society, go out and not be plugged in, probably too.
Oh yeah, yes.
That's just so weird. A laptop.
A laptop.
That's what throws me off.
I don't get.
It's like, why don't you just set up his desktop with the mouse and everything there?
I feel like, and also the fact that you weren't like recording it illegally. You weren't. They weren't recording like the performance illegally on an iPad or something. They were doing work. They were emailing.
Yeah.
It
Plus,
doesn't
if
make
you
any
like,
sense.
I am not a big Shakespeare fan. I think it's kind of boring.
I mean,
But, like,
you
I'm
have the
not
right
going to
think
those
that.
things.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't need to be distracted by boring stuff.
It's so funny, but also, why? Why?
I don't get it. People are rude.
I
People are
don't-
horrible.
So we've been talking about this for like 15 minutes. We keep going in circles, but I just wanted to bring that up because it's like this article that was written is kind of taking the audience member's
I know.
side.
I know.
It's so weird.
I think, yeah. Unless they're doing it just because they want to get the click on the
Oh, I'm sure they are.
get people talking.
I mean, it worked,
Yeah,
didn't it?
yeah. They showed us.
Anyway, Andrew Scott definitely justified in doing that. Fleabag season 2, go watch it.
And season
Very
1.
hot.
Watch season 1.
I need to watch season. Is season 1 like? Is it funny? Is it still like good? Will I miss season 2? I will probably just watch season 2 again.
I do think season 2 is better.
Yeah,
Only
that's-
because they brought more people into it. The season 1 is basically you're learning about her and why she's kind of messed up, and her friend and her sister, and the family relationship's a little bit weird. So there's more about that. Or not weird, but they're just, Anyway, you learn about the history and of her, and it's just a lot of her talking to the camera and being, kind of quippy.
I mean, yeah, I like the character,
Yeah.
but maybe that's enough to watch it.
I mean, it's worth a try. I mean, I managed to watch all of Bridgerton.
Yes, you did. That's
and
what
Queen Charlotte.
That's what Cindy wanted to talk about. Oh, so you watched Queen Charlotte too?
I had 11 days. What can I do? There's nothing else to watch.
No, Cindy walked into the studio today and said, "I've watched all of Bridgerton, and I didn't like it." And I'm like, "Okay, well, why did you watch all of it if you didn't like it? Like, if I don't like something, I stop watching it."
I didn't dislike it. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
The costumes are amazing.
Yes.
The hair. I want Queen Charlotte's wigs. I really do, because they're so amazing.
Yes, they're really, really amazing, aren't they?
And the stories were good. And I definitely like season 2 over season 1, just because there's more like feminine.
I feel like that is
power in
that
it.
that is what people have been saying online. I think I still prefer season 1, but I loved season 2, and then book 2 was my favorite of that I've read in the series. I haven't read the whole series, but I've read, I think, 5 of them.
I just
And
didn't
book 2 was the best.
love the trope of these two people really hate each other. I guess they're in love.
I don't like enemy. I don't like
And they
enemies
did it
to lovers
over and
either.
over again. Like, I'm like, that's just like a formula for an abusive relationship, I think. But
I don't like enemies to lovers as a trope just because, from all I've read and all I've seen, it's a pretty weak trope to begin with, because it's not even enemies. It's like, oh, somebody said something kind of rude once, and it was a misunderstanding. 2 lovers, and I'm like, that's not enemies. And then season 1, were a trope that I like better, which is fake dating and
I did enjoy that. That was fun.
fake dating, and then also friends to lovers. 2 tropes that I prefer immensely over enemies to lovers.
I mean, we could argue, I guess, that particular couple probably got to know each other a lot better than any of the other couples that were getting together during whatever mating season or whatever.
Because they started off as friends,
Right. So they talked
you get that,
and chatted and
you get that foundation.
yeah. Although he was a little annoying with the whole, I'm never procreating because I hate my dad so much. Well, God.
I feel like
I know they didn't have therapy back then, but still.
I feel like that's relatable for a lot of people. A lot of people might think that.
But it was just, I thought it was a little over the top. And
No,
then
I
the
think-
second season with the 2 that, like, the guy's like, I don't understand. I just hate her so much. And
If for no reason.
I know.
There's no reason.
Like, he was really disliked her.
So Kate, the woman that he hates, quote unquote, is just like a little bit headstrong and is opinionated and isn't a doormat, and so that's what he hates.
And she's 26.
Yeah,
Older
which
than-
is like a shriveled up old maid.
Which really, he wanted to date a 16-year-old. That's when they come of age, right? Back then? Isn't that when they came out?
I think she was 18.
I know, but a lot of those, like,
I know,
in
like-
society, I know this is a made-up world, but in
The dating season or whatever it was called was real.
well, it's kind of like Game of Thrones. It's like it's made up, but like there's some elements that are
No,
kind
but
of
like
historical.
in high society, like the marriage mart or whatever they want to call it was real, and so that is like the characters are fake, but the scenarios they're in are very real.
But he was like looking to marry someone much younger and dumber, I think.
That's because well, I mean, as you said, the women of that time in like high society, you wanted to get married in your late teens or early 20s so you could start pumping out babies
and also have money because you don't have any land or
right, because you go from living with your parents to living with your husband, and if you're an old maid, if you don't get married by like 24, you're just like kind of washed up.
yeah. I mean, that whole practice is really weird to me.
It's archaic and very sexist, but I mean that's what happened. Like guys who are like in their late 20s or early 30s would choose like late teens, early 20s women because they're kind of meek and mild and easy to manipulate, and that's what happens today too.
Well, yeah, but we don't have anything equivalent to the coming out parties and the.
Actually,
I mean, I know people
people
still come
still
out.
do that.
They still do that.
People
but
still do that.
It's not as a necessary part of our.
And it's not as overt anymore. It's not like, let's find you a husband. It's more symbolic now, or at least that's what I have gathered from different shows and movies I've seen. Like rich people still do that. But
in the South, they still do those cotillions and stuff.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
which I think is kind of interesting, but I don't know that I would. I don't know. It's just too. They beat around the bush too much. I like today's world where people are more blunt and
Yes.
rude.
No,
and,
Well, in real life, I agree. I like seeing the more subtlety play out in movies and TV, just like Bridgerton. I love Bridgerton.
I know,
And
and I don't want to take the joy because I get why. I mean,
It's escapism.
if I was a different person, I would be making Bridgerton dresses and wigs as we speak right now, because it is very inspirational, like the art of it. But like the story, it's just a little too romantical for me.
And see, that's why me and a billion other people love it.
Yeah, and I don't.
What I love, because you mentioned the costumes earlier, and I really like the costumes too. They're not period accurate. They're
not.
using they're using modern materials and they're using modern styles, and they're borrowing like styles throughout history, but that's on purpose.
I love that. That's why I loved it. Yeah.
Because they're not like shying away. Like, yeah, this is not accurate. There's also a bunch of like people of color walking around too.
Yeah. I liked that storyline too. Because Prince or Queen Charlotte, they kind of explain that, how that all came about. Mm-hmm. I noticed like with the men's suits, like the collar lines were very modern. And like I remember there was one suit that the guy had on, and he had almost it almost looked like a 3-piece suit on the top, but then there were elements that kind of brought it back to like the longer waistcoat and
I also appreciate the male silhouettes in the series as well, because they are more modern, and that's kind of why they're hot too. Mm-hmm. Like they're
okay, the men are cute. I did enjoy them.
They're dealing with like modern audiences, and they're like, if we want to really nail the head on the nail on the head, that these people are like really hot. If we want people to really like drool over them, we have to make them kind of modern too.
Yeah.
And they do that with the men more than the women. The women have more like authentic silhouettes, like the Regency era, like short, like chest area.
Yeah, and then the long.
Yes, dress, yeah, that is very Regency of the time period. But not all of the women are like that.
They did that in Rain. You watched Rain, didn't
yes,
you? Back
I watched Rain.
I liked watching the costumes too, because sometimes they'd put like things in there that were just like completely 100% 2020 or whatever, like the year 2000 and not.
For sure. Or like the Featherington mom, like her dress silhouette is like 1950.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They have no shame in that. I love
too.
That.
Her hair was sort of like the 1950s housewife kind of hairstyle, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I kind of want to see what happens to that family.
No, Rain did that too. You're right. Like
Rain was fast and loose with everything.
Like Mary's wedding dress was very 50s style, and not at all like what they would have worn in the 1500s, which would have been so different.
But they were like, for something that was supposed to be actually historically based.
Oh gosh,
went
no,
off the rails after season 1, I think. I think King whatever
Francis died as
early.
Like a 14-year-old, and this actor. I mean, spoiler alert. They did kill off Francis eventually, but
like historically, weren't they married for like a really short period of time before he died? Or
they were married. They got married really young, when they were like teenagers, and they were more like friends because they hadn't consummated their marriage yet. And that was a thing too. Yeah. Like when like young teenagers married back in those days, they weren't expected to consummate the marriage right away because they were still really young. But they wanted to like marry them to solidify whatever treaty or whatever.
And I think that probably.
And so I don't think
in royal families than anything, but yeah.
And so I really don't think they had any kind of romantic relationship at all. Like the real Mary and Francis, I think they were just kind of friends. And then he died. Because he was always a sickly boy.
Are you watching The Great at all?
I started it. It's a little too kooky for me.
It's pretty kooky.
It's a little too kooky for me.
I can't get into the most recent season. I haven't been able to.
And see, I like Nicholas Hoult. I like Elle Fanning. I think and I don't think this is his fault. This is the writing. But I think he plays it too kooky. I think that's the only word I can use to describe it. It's just kooky, and I don't like it.
He's just happy to still be alive because his actual historical counterpart would have been dead by now. I think.
Right? Oh yeah?
Yeah. I thought that was another one where she got into power because she basically killed him off.
Wait.
If I remember because I actually read one of the biographies of her, after I started watching that show because I'm like, God, this lady's really awesome.
Catherine the Great. What
Her
is his
husband
name?
was not around for a very long time.
What was his name?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Mr. Catherine?
Oh, Peter the Third. Peter the Third of Russia.
Am I remembering this wrong?
Okay. I'm just trying to find what happened. Death. Overthrow and death. Okay. Peter was still asleep at whatever the royal residences west of St. Petersburg. While Catherine gained support of the military with help of this guy and his 4 brothers, Peter tried to escape by taking a boat to the military base, hoping that the fleet remained loyal to him. However, the fleet's cannons opened fire on Peter's boat with 2 or 3 shots, and he was repulsed back to the shore, with the commandant declaring that he recognized no emperor and that Russia was ruled by Empress Catherine. The people of St. Petersburg, drawn to the shore by the loud echoes of cannons, also armed themselves with sticks and stones. 24 hours later, after learning that the Senate army and fleet had sworn allegiance to Catherine, with the aid of 2 guards whom Peter had planned to discipline, he was arrested and forced to abdicate on 9th July 1762. Oh my gosh, she's kind of a badass.
She is, and she's not even from this country.
No, she was born in Austria.
Yeah, and she really did Russia a good deed.
I think they kept him alive just because the actors have chemistry.
Right.
And they wanted to keep the romance.
In real life, I'm 100% sure that after she gained the throne, she did not hang out with him afterwards. Like she is in the show right now.
Right.
But it's an amusing show. It's entertaining, at least. But I haven't been able to get to the last season. And then I watched Queen Charlotte, too. So have you seen that one?
Yes, and I loved it. I think the 2 main actors were so sweet together. Yeah. And, yeah, I just really love the guy who played George III. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah.
His name is... It's a name that I hate. His name is Corey Milcreast, and I hate that last name. I'm like, you should change it. You're an actor now.
I thought they cast it well for like casting the younger. And it was kind of nice to see some of the background of some of the other characters too that weren't as. Plus, it wasn't set up as a romance.
Although I will say that when Queen Charlotte came out, I was like, that's nice. But where's season 3 of Bridgerton? Because the last season of Bridgerton came out in March of 2022. And so it's going to be 2 years.
Oh, so I planned it well. I don't have to wait for very long. Not that
no, you
not
don't.
that I'm on.
I mean,
needles,
are you gonna continue it?
When I've watched everything else, yes.
Anyway, but if we can go back to Queen Charlotte, I liked it. I liked it too. I wish we had more information about what mental illness he actually had. All they can do is speculate. Because with a lot of mental illnesses, a lot of the symptoms overlap, so you can never really tell.
Yeah.
Especially with a historical figure, and we don't have. I mean, he is a king, so we have a lot more references than we would if it was just like a regular person. But he still lived in the 18th century. It was a long time ago. So yeah, we don't know.
Charlotte's not a real person. Are you saying this is based on a real person?
Yeah, King George III and Queen Charlotte were real.
He married a person of color?
No, she was not a person of color. That's just for inclusion's sake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I kind of like that idea. Taking historical things and saying, "Hey, we're going to change one thing about it."
Like in Hamilton.
Yeah.
It was pretty much that. But yeah, Queen Charlotte and King James III, definitely real.
I guess what confused me is that they made
everyone else fake.
People of color like a storyline, basically.
Yeah. And that's just because they wanted to.
I think that's neat. I like that. I'm all for it. But I was confused because I'm like, I really would have liked King George if he had put some color into their line a lot earlier than
now. So that I think that's Shonda Rhimes, the show creator, is also a black woman. So
Yeah.
I imagine that's
No,
probably
I'm
why.
I'm all for it.
Oh, I know
You
that.
just threw me off when you were talking about him as a real person. I'm like, wait a second.
He is a real person. King
He's a
James.
real person, but he didn't marry a black woman. He
No,
married...
no.
Okay.
But King James III is famously the king that lost the colonies in
Oh.
1776.
Oh, wait, is he the one that is it Matthew Goff? What's his name?
Jonathan
plays-
Jonathan
Groff.
Jonathan Groff.
I was gonna say the spitter because he like
He
spits
yes,
a lot
but
with his
he
things, but
that's King George III and Hamilton. It's the same guy.
I loved I do love that song that he sings about.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
It's one of the best in the.
Although again Hamilton was one I really enjoyed it, but like they didn't stop singing the entire show. I don't understand that. I don't understand.
That's it. I mean,
Musicals where all they do is sing. I want some talking too.
lots of musicals do that. Like Les Mis does that
I don't
too.
like Les Mis either.
I don't like Les Mis either. I think it's boring. I think Les Mis is so boring. But like, I mean, I do love individual songs from it. Like I love "I Dreamed a Dream" and I love what's "On My Own."
Yeah, that one I always forget is from that musical. Like there's a couple songs I like from there, and I forget it's from the musical.
But
But
yeah, I think the plot is boring and it's too long.
and it's sad. It's about
It's, I know, it's
poor
so
people
sad. Well,
stealing bread, right?
Pretty much.
Okay, full disclosure, I haven't actually watched Les Mis, but
It's
I know
boring.
what it's about. Okay,
Don't do it. Like, it's 2.5 hours of your life that you're not going to get back. Just
in Cats they talked.
just
didn't they?
just listen to "On My Own." I Dreamed a Dream, and you're good. That's all
It's
you
just
need
a
to
sad-
see.
I think musicals should be happy, first of all, and secondly, they should have some sort of talking in it.
Well, I think that was the appeal of Les Mis when it came out, was that it wasn't happy. It was like a edgy musical. Edgy.
I don't like La Cage aux Folles either because I think it's a little too. dark.
No, I didn't like the movie.
I've seen that. Well, it was like a college production of it, but
No, I thought it was boring too. But like, I mean, you could still have like dark themes or like heavy themes in your musical and have it still be good. Like Rent is my favorite musical, and it's about AIDS, people with AIDS.
I didn't love Rent either.
I love Rent, and I will not be hearing any slander. I will not be hearing any slander.
Okay, I'll keep my mouth shut. but-
Okay. It's so good.
I liked Into the Woods, though, and not everybody likes that.
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
It's a Sondheim, I think, so a lot of people have very strong opinions about his
I know. I have a friend.
chord structures and stuff.
Oh no, I have a friend who hates Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Oh, wait, is that who? Wait, no.
Cats.
Oh. Sondheim is the one I'm thinking of, though, that did.
I'm not sure.
Who's the one that always does like the songs that are kind of atonal, you know, like they're kind of,
I don't know.
I'll have to see. I think it's Sondheim. But he's got a very distinct way of doing music, if that makes sense.
I need an example.
Stephen Sondheim, yes. Listen to a song from Into the Woods and you'll know. It's like
Okay.
this weird, like, it's not like, it's hard to explain. Somebody who knows more about music could probably figure, but when you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, I've heard that. And every Sondheim musical is got
Here.
the same kind of.
Let me look up musicals by
Sondheim.
I've not seen any of these. Oh, I've seen West Side Story. That's it. Yeah. That's the only one I've seen out of all of these. And I like West Side Story. Now, I don't love West Side Story, but
You might like Into the Woods. I really loved it. But I first saw it when they did a performance of it at the community theater like 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. But it's very dark. But it is a musical that is based on the, like, Cinderella, Snow
Oh, yeah, I
White,
knew that, like
and they
the-
sort of twist it a little bit, and it's really cool.
I knew it was a twist on like fairy tales,
Yeah.
but I haven't
So
seen it.
they have written a story that kind of combines them all, sort of like they're all lost in the woods, and it's kind of, it's really light. I really
Are
like it.
they lost into the woods?
Sort of, yeah. They all have to go into the woods to find what they... Into the woods.
Into
To
the
grandmother's
woods.
house.
To grandma's house we go. Yeah.
That's the tone. Like, they do this weird...
Oh,
anyway,
right.
I can explain it more, but I'm explaining it badly.
That's
But
fine.
the reason why people either love or they hate Sondheim is because he's very distinct, I think. Musical theater 101.
When I have very mainstream tastes in musical theater, so I mean I haven't.
Well, we both liked Legally Blonde. Yes. We both loved it.
I love, well, not even just because the music is fine. It's not the best, I don't think.
It's catchy.
It's catchy, and I just love the story so much, and the energy on stage. I can look past maybe some of the songs that aren't the best. But it is a fun show.
Yeah.
And it does keep you engaged, which I think is the point.
I would totally go see it. I'd go pay money to see it again.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Into the Woods is coming to the university again, so
Oh, is
like
it?
I think the college is putting it on.
Oh, the university, yeah.
No Shame Theater, I think in February they're doing it. I had seen, but
I don't know about that, but I have gone to not ballet, opera with my family a few times now, and this is not because it was boring, but because the music was so beautiful and the voices were so beautiful, I had to fight to stay awake. Because, the lights go down.
yeah.
And I was falling asleep.
I don't know that I could sit through
And
an
it's because
opera.
it was like it was beautiful, but it was also not, there was no end. Everyone sings all the time.
Right, that's why I don't like, I mean, that's the way Hamilton is. It was kind of formatted like an opera almost, like where they sang the entire time.
Right.
But in operas, they don't even sing in English.
Exactly. No, they had subtitles on the...
I know, but...
Anyway, but my point is, I don't think I can go again just because
Yeah, I don't think I can handle.
I couldn't stay awake. And my experience was cheapened by the fact that I couldn't stay awake.
Was this in Hampshire or?
No, it was at the Cornwall Center for Performing Arts.
I love that. I love that venue.
And again, I want to say, like, the actors, the singers were phenomenal, and that's why I was going to sleep.
Well, now you know what to play to go to bed if you
Yeah,
can't get to
opera.
sleep.
No, it's
Beautiful opera.
I've done that before because it
I
works.
don't know that I could sit through. That or jazz is another thing I'm not a big fan of.
No, I don't like jazz.
I know
jazz
that goes on forever and there's no chorus.
No, that's the point. It's like improvisation, and
Why
I
don't
don't.
they just call
I
it
don't like
improv instead of jazz?
But because like you need a little bit of style and a little bit of flair to it, but like the nature of jazz is to do it completely on the spot.
One might say that we are the jazz of talk radio because we don't plan out what we're going to do.
We really don't.
We don't even know what chords we're going to hit.
No, you guys, I saw that headline on Twitter and I started talking and that was 40 minutes ago and we have to stop. Like, that's what happens.
I had a list of stuff.
I mean, okay. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do any of your things that you want to bring up.
Well, I don't know if you know about this person or not.
Who?
Gypsy Rose.
Oh, of course.
Out of jail.
Of course I know
Bless her
Gypsy Rose.
heart.
So for those of you who do not know who Gypsy Rose Blanchard is, she was a victim of Munchausen's by proxy, which is when your
Mother is evil.
your caretaker makes you sick on purpose for attention. And that is what her mother did. She lied to Gypsy about her age, about all of her medical conditions. She
Whether
had
or not
like
she was
none.
allergic to stuff.
She had like none. But so Gypsy met this guy online. He preyed on her 100%.
Definitely, yeah.
Just so you know. But she and him hatched a plan for him to kill her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. And he did. He came into their house in the middle of the night and killed Dee Dee.
She did let him in, but
Well,
yeah.
I mean, but like,
But I don't think she's in a mental state where she.
no.
Let me put it this way. I think she had something to do with her mother dying, but I don't think she's to blame for it
No.
because her mother had her teeth removed,
Yep. No,
had
her
body parts removed,
no,
and
so,
made her eat with a tube.
a tube. I know. It's crazy, and you all should definitely watch the documentary. I think it's on Hulu.
There's a couple of them out there. I think there's 2 different ones.
I know there's a fictionalized show called The Act, which is good, but is not. It doesn't paint the whole picture, and so I would recommend watching the documentary instead of the show. But anyway, Gypsy Rose and Nick both went to jail for the involvement in Dee Dee's death. He actually is the one that killed her, and so he has life without parole.
Right.
She got maybe, I think, 8 years
Yeah,
and
I
is
don't know how
out
it's
now.
been, yeah.
And is out now. She's, like, I think, completely free.
Out and already married.
I know, she got a man in prison. I hope he treats her right.
I mean, do you know how he got her?
Yeah.
Did you hear that story?
Yeah, he, like, sent her
His friend,
a mail.
they were
Yeah.
like in the midst of the pandemic, right? And his
Probably.
friend was like, I'm going to write Joe Tiger, whatever his name is.
Oh, the
Tiger.
Tiger
Now I can't
King.
even remember. Tiger King.
Whatever his name is, yeah.
I've seen Tiger. Okay, anyway. His friend or his roommate or something was going to write Joe, what's his face?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, maybe then I'll write Gypsy Rose Lee or whatever her name is, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And that's how he ended up befriending her because of this,
I
like,
know.
my friend's going to write this other crazy person, so I'm going to write this one.
And then they got married while
In
she was
prison.
in jail. Like, that's crazy. But anyway, actually, he did more than just kill Dee Dee. He's not a good dude. He had a history of violence. The guy, Nick, not
Right.
Gypsy's husband, the first guy. And so he definitely needs to be in jail forever and ever.
Yeah,
and ever.
I mean, like, when I first heard about it, I kind of felt bad for him because I thought, well, he wouldn't
No.
be in that position if it weren't for her. But then I'm like, wait a second. If
you
had
do,
been in his position, I would not have been like, yeah, let's kill her.
if you do the slightest bit of research, you will understand why.
Yeah, and yeah. Yeah, that's not a normal reaction. Normally, when you're with somebody that you love and they have a problem with someone, you don't, like, concoct a plan to kill them.
Anyway,
You, like,
so
concoct a plan to rescue her and get her out of there.
Right. And
Which is what they did anyway. I don't know why he couldn't do that without her.
And call the police and put Dee Dee in jail.
Right.
Like, Dee Dee shouldn't be dead right now. She should be in jail. But, like, and Gypsy has said that, too. She's like, I regret what happened. I don't think she deserved death, especially the way she went out. But she could not see any other way out.
And I can understand that point of view,
and
too,
Nick
actually.
had convinced her that this was the only way.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
Because he was violent.
Yeah. Well, that makes more sense then.
Yeah.
But Dee Dee's where she needs to be. Because I think she had something to do with her mom dying, too.
Really?
I mean, that was some speculation that there's some other family members that are like, well, and I'd seen some, maybe it was a documentary that I watched, that the parents of Dee Dee, like the family of Dee Dee, got her ashes and they flushed them down the toilet.
Because they didn't want her.
They're like, we don't want, and they're doing interviews of like her family and stuff, and they're like, yeah, she's like, like, she's crazy.
No, I saw some of their the interviews with the family too, and I'm kind of annoyed at them too because they didn't do anything to help Gypsy. They saw this pattern because Dee Dee's mother did the exact same thing to Dee Dee, Munchausen's by proxy, and they recognized the signs and did nothing because it was like, oh, it wasn't my place.
Well, I mean, and in their defense, if she was running from doctors too. So like she would tell one doctor one thing, and then when the doctor would catch on, she would go to a different doctor. And I mean, she moved.
Oh,
she
they moved
Gypsy
a lot.
around. Oh.
Yeah, they moved a lot. they moved to Springfield, Missouri after, I think, Katrina.
Yeah.
And Habitat for Humanity, like, tricked out, like, a whole house
it was like
for
a pink
them.
house. It was really cute.
It was like a really accessible house, too.
Yeah.
Wheelchair,
Yeah.
which
she
Gypsy did not need. Yeah.
Oh, poor girl.
I know.
I want good things for her.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll see. But I'll be watching if bad things happen too.
I want her to have a beautiful life.
Yes.
Because, I mean, her fate has always either been decided by her mother or a court of law. Like, she's never had any free will at all.
Yeah.
So, like, I just really hope she has a normal life.
I hope so too.
All right.
Did you have a topic?
Yes. So, on TikTok, have you seen people complaining about 10-year-olds in Sephora?
Sort of. I'm on like the edge of that.
The edge of that. Okay, well, it's part of a bigger problem of kids, like, not being able to, like, hear the word no, or kids acting absolutely feral and not knowing how to behave. Anyway, so, but this specific problem is 10-year-olds, like, being on TikTok or being on Instagram or any other social media, and they are influenced to buy products that they do not need for another 20 years. So, like, there's this one brand that's really popular.
The Poussey or whatever it's called.
No. Drunk Elephant is the brand. And this specific product they all want comes in this, like, fun package where you press down on the top of it and then moisturizer or whatever it is, like, springs up. It's a pretty cool package, to be fair. And I think that's part of the problem, is that it's like a toy.
Yeah.
And so they want that. But they're influenced to buy it, and they see other kids their age buying it, and so they're influenced more. But the problem is that the products that they are buying are, like, anti-aging serums and, like, things with active ingredients that are harmful for young skin. Like, a 10-year-old does not need retinol. You do not need retinol unless you are over the age of 25. I don't even use retinol at 30. That's an anti-aging thing. And if 10-year-olds are using it, it's damaging to your skin. Because when you're that young, your skin is still kind of, like, replicating. And, like, the cells are still, like, developing or whatever. But, like, and if you're using retinol, it's meant to stop that. To stop the appearance of aging. It's for adult women.
Yeah.
It's for adult skin, and it's damaging to 10-year-olds, and this is a PSA. If you have a kid who's begging for Drunk Elephant skincare, look to see if it's, like, stuff that they really shouldn't be having. Like, vitamin C, they don't need vitamin C.
I know, but is it really actually hurting them if they use it?
It's harmful for your skin if you use it and you don't need it. And so what they want is, like, the packaging in it and the fact that everyone else has it. But all you need as a 10-year-old is probably a cleanser, an SPF, and a moisturizer. You do not need vitamin C. You do not need retinol. You do not need, like, these harsh chemicals and stuff like that. But that's the thing.
I guess I don't know any 10-year-olds right now that have the money for that kind of stuff. But
well, that's part of the problem. The parents just have them take their credit card and be like, yeah, buy whatever you want, sweetie, without knowing what they're purchasing, which is why I'm saying, like, ask why they want Drunk Elephant.
But I
ask
also,
why they want these things.
Having had daughters who buy lots of makeup and skincare stuff, I also know that they'll use it a couple of times and then not use it anymore because it's not doing anything that they need to do, so they won't buy it again. So it's not going to be like an ongoing, the next, from age 10 to 20, they're using retinol.
Another issue apparently that's happening is that they will come in droves to Sephora and, like, mess up the testers because they're kids, and kids, like, mess things up.
I don't think that has anything to do with Drunk Elephant, but
no,
I've seen that happen anyway.
But, like, just the general complaint of, like, 10-year-olds taking over Sephora.
Well, have you seen clips of people, like, they'll get several people in a group that try to go in and like steal like all the perfumes or steal all of, it's usually like in a makeup store of some sort.
Yeah.
And it's just like a group of people that all are thieves basically. And they just sort of like rush the store, and like the employees can't really do anything because it's happening so quickly.
I don't think that's happening with the kids, but
Well, no, but they have the same sort of destructive. They just don't get anything out of it.
right. They're just kids.
But again, I don't know if this is like is this really a huge problem or?
Oh, well, TikTok will make you believe
I know,
it
that's
is.
what I'm saying. Like, I've seen a lot of things where, like, people are like, oh, yeah, everyone's doing this challenge. I'm like, I have never even seen this challenge.
Well, it's for
Like-
a different demographic,
Yeah.
I'm sure. But
But I've seen chatter of that
no, but
on
I've
TikTok.
I've
And actually in my work office, we were talking about it.
no, I've seen actual dermatologists on TikTok being like, your kids do not need retinol. They do not need vitamin C serum.
And I agree. I don't think they do, but I don't know that it's really doing a great deal of harm if they do use it.
Well, I mean, you're not going to die
No.
or anything. I'm just saying it's not what you need.
And hopefully the parents figure out, hey, this is way too expensive for you to be using regularly, so
Right.
or give it to me because I need it.
Right.
I don't
But I mean, that's the thing though. Like, once something becomes trendy, everybody wants it. Especially the younger you are.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I have to belong to this thing. Everybody is getting this thing. I need it then because everyone else has it.
Especially
so
around Christmas, yeah.
I
I'm
need it.
guessing.
Oh, it's the same thing with like all these adult women like camping out of Target to get the Stanley Cups. Have you seen that?
I saw the tail end of it on TikTok. Somebody was talking about it. I don't ever see
Right.
the actual direct stuff, but like, yeah, Stanleys are,
Well,
they're expensive.
I think what is so ironic to me is that these like reusable cups, Stanley's the brand, they're these like reusable cups and they come in different colors. They're supposed to be like your daily water cup or
Right.
your daily whatever. Like, it's supposed to be, you only have one. You only need one of these. And people have collections of them. They buy like
Whole
10 of
walls
them.
full.
Yeah, they buy 10 of them. And it's like, you don't need it.
I say as I have like a whole cabinet full of these mainstay $10 cups from Walmart. Because they're always dirty.
You clean them.
I don't want to do dishes every day.
The point is you clean them and then you reuse them.
I know, but what if you haven't gotten ready to clean like 5 or 6 of them? You need a 7th one. Although they do say Stanley keeps the ice cold for like days.
Also, did you see
But-
the thing about somebody's house catching on fire and their Stanley was like completely fine?
I think I saw somewhere where a car caught on fire and the Stanley was fine.
I mean, the point is you only need one. You only need
You do
one
not.
Stanley.
Okay, first of all, you do not only need one. I will defend the people that have multiples, but like
will
I
not.
have seen, it's usually a woman who has a whole wall
of
that her
them.
husband has made little shelving for, and it's all color coded.
It's just an aesthetic, and it's a status thing. Everyone has it, so people
I
want
mean,
it.
I believe that everyone has a collection of something. They're a collector of something.
I just think
and
it's weird
sometimes
because it's a reusable cup. Why do you need 10?
why are you stuck on the whole reusable cup thing? Do you have more than one shirt? Do you have just one shirt? You only need one shirt. Just wash it every night. Molly,
That's wasteful.
when you're washing your one Stanley cup.
Washing a shirt is not the same.
It is.
No, it's not.
Your shirt is reusable. You have a reusable
If
shirt on.
if
Why do you have one?
if I only wash my shirt in my washing machine once, that wastes so much water.
Hand wash it with your Stanley. Use your shirt to wash your Stanley, and then just put them both on the rack to dry.
You don't need 10 Stanleys.
You don't need 10, but you need 5 probably.
No, you don't.
I would buy 20 of the really cheap off-brand Walmart ones.
Well, didn't you just say essentially you have? You do.
I have like probably every time I go to Walmart I see another color and I'm like, I need that color.
That is a cute cup. You should show it to the camera.
Pretty.
It is cute.
It's like the fake Starbucks cups. So the
Yeah.
lids don't quite work quite.
Well,
It was only like $6.
well, the Starbucks ones are like what, 20?
And I have a fake Stanley. It's like a little bit smaller, but it's got the same. I mean, it's the same insulation type. I think it was like $20 at Walmart, and it works pretty well. I need another one of those, though. I need one for
Why
work.
is the other one dirty?
I need one for work, and I need one for home.
Okay, well that makes sense.
I need one for the car. And then also, these are the things that you would like fill up with water, put in your car, and then forget that it's in the car. So when you're at home, you don't want to go all the way up to the car. To get
Okay,
your
so
Stanley.
you need maybe
Molly,
3.
I'm just telling you, you
That's
need
it.
at least 5.
You don't.
One for work, one for home, one for your bedside table, one for if you take the dog for a walk and you just need to grab a quick.
You can do
And
your
maybe,
regular house.
maybe you want to have one full of cold drink and one full of hot drink. And then you need a third one
Are you a beverage
for
gobbler?
a medium drink.
I think maybe what we're finding out is Cindy is a beverage goblin that needs at least 3 different kinds of beverages.
During my little hiatus over the holidays, I may have had like 4 glasses of various liquids by my bedside. Because I'd start drinking coffee in the morning, and then I switch to water,
I've
and then I'll
done
get a
that.
Mountain Dew, and then, like...
Oh, not a Mountain Dew. I won't eat that. I won't consume that. But definitely, I've had
I'm not
like,
as
water
bad.
and coffee.
I'm not as
sure.
bad as some of the, like, ADHD things that you see on TikTok, like the
gosh.
people that have, like, 20 drinks on their thing. I'm not that bad. But I do always have a glass of water by my bed.
Oh, me too. I have to. Speaking of water, once we go to the break, I'm gonna have to actually get a lot.
We can do a break now if you want.
I don't know if you can hear. My voice is quite scratchy.
Get yourself some water.
I do. I need some water.
See,
water,
you need
water,
a Stanley
water.
cup here, and then you need one in your
No,
car.
I don't need a Stanley Cup.
Stanley cups for everybody.
Do you know, I actually don't think they're that cute.
There are some cute designs. I like the Starbucks cups better myself, but
I
they're
like
not
the structure of the Starbucks cups better.
Yeah.
I don't think they're so utilitarian, which is like good
They
for
look
the
really
actual function.
heavy.
But yeah, it's just like
They
anyway.
look super heavy, so I'm not sure if I would like it as much.
But yeah, we should definitely take a break now so
All right.
I can get some water.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, we'll be back after news and weather. You're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper, a Perry, Iowa parent, after speaking with her daughter today.
She heard 3 gunshots that could have been pointed in her direction.
The shooting took place at Perry High School during a breakfast program. A 17-year-old student was the gunman, found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and an explosive device was rendered safe. CBS's Ed O'Keefe is in Perry.
Among the students who escaped, Jody Kurth's stepson, Xander, who lives just 2 blocks from school. He'd been grazed by a bullet and came back for medical attention.
It was absolutely horrifying. Like, that's one of the worst moments of my entire life, but the best phone call I got was saying that they were okay.
This is the 2nd school shooting already this year. In the last 5 years, 161 people have been killed in school shootings, with more than 300 injured.
A U.S. airstrike in Iraq kills a high-ranking militia leader. More from CBS's Cammie McCormick.
The airstrike killed a high-ranking commander of an Iranian-backed militia. Those militias have been stepping up their attacks on American forces in Iraq and Syria since Israel's war with Hamas began. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller.
I'm not going to comment on this specific attack, but I will say that when groups and individuals take action targeting U.S. forces, the United States will not hesitate to defend itself.
Secretary of State Blinken is headed to the Mideast for his 4th trip since the start of Israel's war on Hamas. More on Blinken's agenda from CBS contributor Robert Berger in Jerusalem.
Blinken wants to see Israel move into the 2nd phase of the war, more targeted strikes against Hamas leaders and not the massive bombing that we've seen for the last 3 months. And Israel is prepared to go in that direction.
The State Department says Blinken will visit Turkey, Greece, Jordan, and Qatar, and he'll also make stops in the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the West Bank and Egypt. In the New York City subway on Manhattan's Upper West Side, a passenger train collided at slow speed with an out-of-service train and derailed. Some 24 people hurt, according to New York City Transit President Richard Davey.
Thankfully, there were no serious injuries. Obviously, two trains should not be bumping into one another. We are going to get to the bottom of that.
A major winter storm system is moving across the country and is the reason those in the Northeast might want to plan some indoor activities this weekend. Weather Channel meteorologist Mike Bettis.
How much snow are we talking about? In some pockets, as much as a foot of snow, including maybe near Hartford and Boston, but a large area here north from Maine all the way to West Virginia of 5 to 8 inches is on the way.
The Kia EV9, Toyota Prius, and Ford Super Duty pickup win the 2024 North American SUV Car and Truck Awards. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My daughter is normally a little goofball, but after a bad night's sleep, she's too tired to be anything. That's why I trust Pure Z's Kids. Pure Z's Kids is mindfully formulated just for kids. Their non-habit forming, drug-free products help my daughter fall asleep naturally, giving her the rest to be her best.
I'm a dinosaur.
Best dinosaur.
Pure Z's Kids, for ages 4 and up when needed. Explore our products at zquill.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Now, Iowa City's News First.
I'm Tommy Lang with KCJJ News. Iowa City Animal Services is investigating a dog bite incident that occurred this week. According to a news release issued by the City of Iowa City Animal Services received notification on Wednesday that a person had been bitten by a dog around 5 p.m. on New Year's Day in the area of Park Road and Lexington Avenue. The dog is described as medium-sized with short black hair. It was accompanied by another dog that is also black-haired with some light brown around the eyes. According to the information provided, the victim was walking past the dogs when the all-black dog jumped and bit them. The dogs were being walked by 2 people. However, no further description is available. Iowa City Animal Services is seeking information on the rabies vaccination status of the dog. If anyone has any information, they're encouraged to contact Iowa City Animal Services directly at 319-356-5295 or the Iowa City Police Department at 319-356-6800. An Iowa City woman who allegedly stole a credit card and ran up charges in early 2023 has been taken into custody. Police say 32-year-old Emily Jones of Shady Glen Court reportedly stole the card from a victim while she was at her workplace. Between January 17th and 31st, Jones then reportedly used the credit card number to make several online purchases using alias names and email addresses. She then had them shipped to an address that was not hers. A search warrant was served at Jones's residence, where investigators reportedly recovered items purchased with the stolen credit card number. A warrant was issued last May. Jones was booked into the Johnson County Jail Wednesday afternoon. She's charged with unauthorized use of a credit card, an aggravated misdemeanor. If convicted, she could be sentenced to up to 2 years in jail. Openings remain for the 2024 Community Police Academy. Applications are due by 5 p.m. Sunday, January 14th. The 8-week academy is sponsored by the Iowa City, Coralville, and North Liberty Police Departments, the Johnson County Sheriff's Office, and the University of Iowa Department of Public Safety. The Community Police Academy meets Mondays, 6 to 9 p.m. at the Johnson County Joint Emergency Communications Center at 4529 Melrose Avenue. It begins Tuesday, January 16th due to the Iowa caucuses and will conclude March 11th. For more details, including how to apply, find this story on the KCJJ app and at 1630kcjj.com. In sports, the fourth-ranked Iowa women's basketball team travels to Rutgers on Friday. Tip-off set for 5 o'clock inside a sold-out Jersey Mike's Arena in Piscataway, New Jersey. You can see that game on the Big Ten Network. The top-ranked University of Iowa women's wrestling team travels to the Unidome in Cedar Falls this weekend to compete in the NWCA National Duels Friday and Saturday. The Hawkeyes are the second seed, following previous 2023 National Duel champions North Central College. The NWCA National Duels will be streamed live on FlowWrestling.com. A subscription is required. University of Iowa junior pitcher Brody Brecht has been named a preseason first-team All-American by Perfect Game. Brecht posted a 3.74 ERA in 17 appearances as a sophomore. The Ankeny native allowed just 38 hits and 28 runs over 77 innings. Brecht was named a third-team All-American by the NCBWA and Perfect Game last season, and a freshman All-American by Collegiate Baseball and Perfect Game in 2022. Iowa begins its season at the Swig and Swine College Classic in Charleston, South Carolina, February 15th through the 17th. The Hawkeyes face Seton Hall in their season opener. We'll talk more Hawkeye sports Friday morning at 9 on the HawkFanatic.com segment, right here on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. The City High girls basketball game versus Waterloo West, scheduled for Friday at City High, has been postponed. No makeup date has been announced. That was scheduled to be our game this week, so the next game on KCJJ will be Tuesday night, when Regina hosts Mid-Prairie for a girls-boys doubleheader starting at 6:30. You can find our remaining basketball schedule on the KCJJ app and at 1630kcjj.com under high school sports. With KCJJ News, I'm Tommy Lang.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. For tonight, a cloudy sky, lows in the mid-20s. And for tomorrow, we'll look for more clouds, highs to the mid-30s. Some flurries develop tomorrow night, still carrying over into Saturday morning. Then mostly cloudy Saturday afternoon, highs in the upper 20s. A few more flurries develop tomorrow night, then partly sunny and mid-30s Sunday. That's your KCJJ forecast. Right now, it's 33.
1630 KCJJ, you are now listening to hour 2 of the Molly's doing the other girl.
Women and children.
I was going to say, sorry, wrong one. I accidentally potted up TV, but you're good. You're on now.
We can watch the, we can make commentary on the debate.
No. Wait, do you want to?
Not really, because he's just so mechanical.
No, I cannot stand Ron DeSantis at all. I'll actually end up cursing. So we better not.
Is that Nikki Haley or whatever her name is next to him?
Yes, I believe that is Nikki Haley.
I see so many of her ads on Peacock.
You know, I didn't realize she was a Republican candidate for the longest time because there are smear campaigns against her from her own party, and I'm just like, what? Like, they're comparing her to Hillary Clinton, and like, first of all, Hillary Clinton isn't that left in the grand scheme of things, but it's funny to think that I didn't know she was Republican for the longest time just because, like, Republicans don't like her.
I wasn't sure, I will admit.
Yeah.
But then she kept talking about China as the evil villain of everything.
And then
I'm like, I don't think Democrats usually are so...
Did you see that she implied that the reason that Army recruitment is down is because of pronouns? So no, we will not be watching the Republican debate. I actually, if you don't mind, I'm actually not quite done talking about the theater thing. Because I saw an article. I looked at it during the break. And in case you're just now tuning in, I started the show by complaining about an audience member at a performance of Hamlet
by the hot priest.
By the hot priest from Fleabag.
The hot, sexy priest from
Andrew
Fleabag.
Scott. He stopped his, like, the famous soliloquy, the to be or not to be, like, the famous, like, soliloquy in the play. He stopped it because there was a person in the front who had his laptop out, and he was just answering emails. He didn't, like, say anything. He just stopped. It was silence until the guy next to him was, like, nudging him, and he was like, dude, get off your laptop. And the guy was like, oh, sorry, apologies. And, like, how do you lack the self-awareness?
Are we sure he was answering emails and not watching porn or something?
Why would you want?
Watching porn makes more sense.
No, it doesn't.
It's an entertainment venue.
But you should be watching.
Well, you certainly shouldn't be doing work while you're at.
If you purchase a ticket to Shakespeare and you find it boring, I'm sorry, that's on you.
Just leave.
Leave.
You were warned when it said Shakespeare on the ticket that it was going to be boring.
Or go out to the lobby. If you have to check your emails, go to the lobby.
Yeah, who's his friend that was, like, not...
I don't... No, it wasn't a friend. It was just the guy next to him.
I want to find out what his date thought about the whole thing.
Anyway, but that reminded me of this time I went to this little mini play. It wasn't even, like, it was in, like, an art gallery. It wasn't, like, on a stage. But it was at the Holocaust Museum in St. Petersburg, Florida. And it was a short play about two gay Jewish guys in a concentration camp during World War II. And it was a really good play. And then there was, like, it was supposed to be a really impactful moment, like, right at the end. And it was supposed to be, like a tense silence. Like, you're on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
And then somebody's phone goes off. Full volume. And, like, the actor closed his eyes, clenched his jaw, and tried so hard not to, like, blow up, essentially. And this person did not even realize it was their phone. They were looking around, and then somebody alerted, like, that's your phone. They're like, oh, and then, like, struggling to turn it off. It was an older person. They never know which like, ring is theirs. And it's just like, oh, they ruined the whole thing. Like, I'm just like, you guys, they told us to turn our phones off at the start of the play. And a lot of people, because I've talked about this before, people are like, well, nobody ever calls me. Well, there was just that one time, nobody ever calls me. It's like, that's why you turn it off, right, on the off chance someone tries to contact you, because it's happened to me before, too. Like, if I've had it on silent, like, somebody who never, like, this is why I turn my phone off, usually.
I have mine off all the time anyway. I always have to remember to turn it on when I'm...
Really? See, I have my phone on all the time. I should turn it off more,
mine has
actually.
a little switch that I can turn the ringer off, so I use that. I just flip it so that it doesn't ring out loud or notify anything.
That's smart.
It
like,
just vibrates.
I've never had my phone. My phone has been on silent since 2009.
I know, same.
Like, and that's just the thing for most people my age. Nobody has, like, a actual ring.
Now I've got, like, a watch that will, like, alert me if I have my watch on and my phone's nearby. I don't even have to look at my phone half the time. So, which is nice, but which is another reason why I don't have it turned on. So
it's an etiquette problem that we're seeing.
I just think in general, if you go out in public to an entertainment thing, a concert, a play, a sex show, whatever, you shouldn't be getting your laptop out.
A sex show.
Grab your phone and quickly look at it and then go. Then
if you really need to, do that. But like pulling your laptop out. I've said this. I can't. I can't comprehend why do you need to pull your laptop
I can't even
out?
think of a little, because you know he didn't have one of those little mini laptops, right? Like those cute little.
No, it was a
full size.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
Mac. I bet you it was a MacBook too.
Oh,
I'm
$100
sure. Was an Apple
yep,
product.
No, I am with you 100% on that.
I'll even go so far as to say, I bet you he drives a Tesla.
Oh, I don't know.
Let's deep dive and see how much of a D-bag this guy really is.
Do you know what? This is a UK audience member. I'm not sure how popular Teslas are over there.
I'm not saying Teslas are popular. I'm just saying a certain type of person.
That's true.
Not all Tesla drivers.
A lot of people.
But in my previous life,
do you know a lot of people bought Teslas before they knew Elon was such a D-bag?
Well, that's not even the issue. The issue is that there's been my previous job. I got to register a lot of vehicles. So I met a lot of people, and I met a lot of Tesla owners.
Oh, yeah?
A lot of them are really great. But if there's going to be a jerk,
a Tesla
they're going to be a Tesla
driver.
Person.
Yeah. That's an interesting perspective.
Again,
but I'm
not all Tesla drivers.
I'm with you about the Apple products, though. Like, I bet you $100.
And I say that as an iPhone user and as somebody who would love to have a Tesla. But
see, I'm not an Apple user, but I 100% believe you when you say that.
I'm just saying there's a certain type. Again, not all Teslas, not all Apple people, but.
And so this article actually goes on to say it's kind of a tangent, but apparently, and I don't know if you knew this because I didn't, standing ovations is apparently an American thing.
Oh, really?
That's like bleeding into like UK theater, and apparently they don't like that.
Do they clap though?
Yeah, but you're not supposed to stand unless it's like phenomenal. But like here, like every single play I've been to, like almost my entire life, like you are expected to stand up. You're expected to clap.
Okay.
And I feel like, and apparently they think that cheapens.
I agree with them.
The praise.
If you're giving a standing ovation for every single performance,
it cheapens it. No, yeah. I understand, and I kind of agree now, but I never even thought about it like that. But now I am.
I guess I don't pay attention that close, but I will stand. I mean, I start one if it's really good.
So I'll stand for like the main people, like the main character, but like people start standing like right when like the extras come out, and I know like to us that's the polite thing to do.
Yeah.
But I do agree that it cheapens the praise. Like if you think someone did a really good job and you're applauding them for the same thing like the stagehand did or whatever, like cheapens it a little bit.
I agree. I guess I never noticed. That's weird.
Yeah, but this apparently, I mean, British people are just kind of more reserved than Americans anyway.
I think that's generally not all British people.
No, that's what like that's what this article says. It says, let's see.
I think that's kind of the joke, isn't it?
I'm trying to find whatever.
I just don't understand the laptop.
No, the laptop is so stupid.
That's so
Why are
weird.
you doing that? Why are you doing that?
Meet this guy. I think they should do an interview of the guy that did it.
I want to punch this guy.
I know.
I'm gonna punch him in the face. Like, why are you doing that? Like, how do you lack the self-awareness so much? Why do you think the entire world revolves around you enough to where you are ruining not only the actors, but like everybody in the audience? Because like the people behind you don't want to read your emails.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. If he's doing this for work, most workplaces are kind of, and it doesn't even matter where you work. Most workplaces will, if you have like an email involved in the day-to-day process, they want you to be secure about it and not go to a public place and, flash your screen everywhere. Because I'm sure there's sensitive information if it's like a work thing. I mean, I guess I'm assuming that he's working.
Yes. No, he answered emails. Like, I assumed it was for work, too, not just personal, hey,
so I wonder what his job would think about him, like, flashing his work details to the people behind
or
him.
just being like a clod and misrepresenting the company. Like, sorry, this person was so weird about I don't get it.
But okay, so now hear me out.
No.
Is this play still going on?
No, this was back in 2017.
Oh, crap. I wonder if he's doing any other kind of
I don't think he's doing a
dramatic readings.
He was just in a movie, though.
No, what I'm getting at is if he's doing live action stuff, I could get tickets, pull out my laptop.
Cindy.
He would hate me so much.
Wait, it's an enemies to lovers thing? Except he's gay, so wait.
No, he would hate me so much that he would change.
What?
To be not hetero. I'm not saying hetero. I'm just saying bi.
You say he's
it's a spectrum, right? He's going to push further into the...
He's going to be so mad at you that he turns bi.
That he'll love me so much afterwards.
His passion is just going to switch from hatred.
Is what I have been promised since watching Cheers in the first,
Oh,
I hate you so much that I love you.
You've lost me. I've never seen Cheers.
Oh, that was that was my first experience as a kid.
Is that the theme song that goes, sometimes you gotta go where everybody knows your
Can't
name?
sing the whole thing, though. How many minutes can we sing?
Oh, that was only 3 seconds. We're fine. And I don't know that's the only bit I know.
Sam and Diane were the for me, I'm sure it's happened long before that, but that was my first, as a young person. Well, they hate each other. Why are they even wanting to get together? I
think that's a harmful message to send.
I think so too.
If you hate somebody, that doesn't mean that you should. Or if somebody hates you, that doesn't mean that secretly they love you.
I know
that's not.
It feels a lot like, oh, he pulled your pigtails because he likes you.
Exactly. You're right, and that's so harmful.
So why are we still having shows
harmful.
with that kind of crap in it?
I don't know. Well, Cheers is old.
I know, but I'm saying this has been happening, and Bridgerton is a new show.
Yeah.
And that was the main theme of at least the second season.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like the enemies to lovers trope because a lot of the time it's like that. It's really damaging things. And I mean, it's damaging to tell your little girls that little boy is hurting you because he likes you, because that means she's going to take that into adulthood.
Exactly.
And put up with abusive relationships. And that's not good.
Yeah.
So we should stop telling our daughters that.
Well, that's why everybody of my generation is all jacked up.
Messed up, yeah.
Because we also learn from, the Disney princesses.
Oh, yeah. No, they didn't. You're right.
Our prince will come.
They did not help either.
God, can you guess who's single?
But willingly single.
I am. Determinedly so.
You have Moose. You don't need...
I don't need
You don't need a guy. You have a dog. You have a cute doggy.
He's awfully cute.
Cute.
Did you end up catching up on Doctor Who at all, or did you watch?
Yes, so
oh my God.
I caved and I got Disney Plus. Cindy, if you want my password, I will give it to you.
I already steal it from somebody else.
Oh, okay. So. Well, if you lose access to that, ask me and I will hook you up, just because you shared your Apple password with me, and that was very nice. So anyway, yeah, so I watched the specials and I loved them. They are coming home. They're they are exactly like the writing was back in 2007, which is all that I've wanted since watching those seasons. Is that writing back, that. Oh, and I loved it. I loved
the. I mean, Tennant was not my. I liked him.
I loved him.
He was not my favorite Doctor.
I love him.
Yeah, but he's everybody's. I think. If you took a poll of everybody
you would be surprised. There's a lot of people who are like, David's actually pretty overrated. Not me,
I know, but that's not saying that they don't love him
I think he's appropriately rated.
I think that if you were to poll all of the Doctor Who people that watched it, he would be overwhelmingly the favorite.
All right, maybe. Anyway, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I don't remember what I was going to say. But
You didn't. David wasn't your favorite.
He was not my favorite, but I very much enjoyed. And we've talked about this before. Donna's my favorite person, and I loved that scene where she was like actually walking around and he like completely missing him constantly.
Donna reminds me so much of you. So
I am Donna.
You are
I'm not
Donna.
like Dr. Smart like she got to be, but yeah, I am Donna. 100%.
And so I'm actually doing a rewatch now because I loved the 4 specials so much. I'm like, you know what? Let's go back to the beginning.
That's a good idea.
Not 1963.
No. That's not the beginning.
I don't mess with that just because I've seen a few episodes of like the classic series. It wasn't for me. But when I say the beginning, I mean 2005.
The reboot of
Yes.
Eccleston, yeah.
Eccleston. I watched that in a single day. New Year's Day, I just rotted on the couch and I watched Eccleston's entire season.
So I'm going to have to do a rewatch, I think, because it's been
Absolutely,
long enough.
absolutely.
It's been long enough.
No, and Eccleston's so good. Like, I always knew he was good, but honestly, it's been a few years. It's been about 3 years since I've seen Doctor Who. And I don't know, I'm just, I guess, 3 years older, 3 years wiser, 3 years whatever, different. He is so good.
And I was thinking about, because the new Doctor.
Shooty? Yeah.
I like him.
I love Shooty.
I have the same problem with him that I have had with other doctors in the past. They're a little too campy. Like I feel like they're trying too hard.
Oh, see, I really love a doctor that's like really like hyper and exuberant.
They're like
I like it better.
hyperactive.
I like that better than the subdued ones. Like I didn't like Capaldi because he was like a jaded dude.
I didn't like him just in general.
I didn't like Capaldi.
I didn't even give him a chance.
I liked Jodie, but I wish she would have gotten better writing. She got the worst writing.
I wish she would have gotten a better outfit too, because that outfit was dumb.
Yeah, it wasn't
like
great.
You finally get a chance to dress a female doctor, and that's what you put her in. Like,
I mean, like she has to run around and stuff, so it has to be like practical.
But she was wearing like what a 12-year-old boy would. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't very.
I think she was supposed to be like eclectic, but like
I know, but like that's the outfit that they wear the entire time. Like they have a certain style and they have their little gimmick thing.
Actually, did you know? I'm not sure if other doctors do this, but David Tennant actually, he has his brown suit for I think going back in time, and then the blue suit for going forward in time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, I loved
or
seeing
switched, but
him and Donna back together, and I loved. What's that noise? Did I do that?
No, that's me. Sorry, that's
strumming on your banjo.
That's on the mic stand.
Okay.
I'm sure that's kind of annoying on the air. I'm sorry. I'll stop playing with it.
I mean, I love Donna, but I love
Donna.
Their woke or whatever. Like I love it when people are like, yeah, Doctor Who got woke. They're doing the whole pronoun thing now.
Oh, shut up.
And I'm like. Have you ever seen Doctor Who? Like, I'm sorry, but they have broken a lot of.
Like Captain Jack was, I think it was probably
he was like
pansexual.
Yes, he liked everybody
because
in a universe, there's more than just boys and girls.
Exactly, and he was a 51st century kind of guy.
Yes,
and that's just how it is.
I liked him.
And there was another thing too. It wasn't just the sexuality thing. I think they've touched on gender identity before. This wasn't the first time.
Probably not, but it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
But I very much like the way they handled it and the way that they didn't that wasn't the whole thing. Well, it was an important part, but it wasn't like...
It wasn't the whole thing,
It was like, we're going to shove this in your face.
David Tennant actually has a trans child. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I don't know a lot about
him
personally.
So, like in interviews and stuff, sometimes he wears like the trans pin on his lapel just to show support. He and his wife Georgia are actually pretty good about keeping their children private online. Yeah. Like they'll post them, but they'll like black out their faces and they don't use their names until they're old enough. Like they have their oldest daughter is an actor now too. Her name is Olive. I think her name is Olive. And she was in Belfast.
I didn't see that.
It was kind of boring. Don't do it. But
okay.
I'm saying they're really good about like protecting their children. Yeah. But I do know that one of his children are trans.
What isn't his wife
Excuse me.
He
was
met her on Doctor Who, wasn't he? Like his daughter or
Yeah,
something like that, which I thought was funny. But
I don't love that.
I don't love it either. But it's cute.
She played his daughter, but not like biologically. It was like he put his hand in this thing that extracted his DNA, and then out popped like a fully adult.
I don't remember all the details, but
yeah, like he had to. Yeah, I don't like that.
It's not as icky as the. Did you ever watch Dexter?
No.
Dexter, the main character, had an actress play his sister, and they ended up getting married.
Wait, no, that happened on Parenthood too. I don't know if you ever watched that.
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't really get that far into it.
I didn't finish it, but two of the actors who played like the grown-up siblings dated in real life, like while they were playing siblings on TV. I'm like, that's weird.
It's just a little bit weird.
It's just a little bit weird.
Yeah, and it's like right after. I mean, I think I just recently got the Goblin song out of my head.
I loved that. I loved the Goblin song.
I still don't really understand what happened in that show, but
it was a little bit cheesy, but I feel like it's okay. Like the Doctor and the show itself is a little bit cheesy.
Is the girl, what's her name, Rosemary?
No, Ruby Sunday.
Oh, Ruby Sunday. Is she like the daughter of anybody? Like
I don't think
River Song or
no. Remember River Song was Amy Pond's daughter.
Wait, River Song was Amy Pond's daughter?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that twist, but I remember they were related somehow.
Well,
I couldn't remember
I'm
how.
sorry for spoiling.
No, it's okay. That's why it's like, you can spoil all you want. I'm still going to...
Well,
I watched it and I can't remember.
And that's why you need to start over.
Yeah, I should probably watch it all over.
Yeah,
but
you
I'm not
should.
watching Capaldi.
No.
And I don't know if I can watch the Matt.
Do you know what? I'm probably gonna watch through Matt. I don't know if you were listening, but on my regular like music show, I was talking about the new specials, and a tweet came across my feed, and someone was like, "Doctor Who starting point this, Doctor Who starting point that. When can I stop watching Doctor Who?" And like there was a bunch of people who answered, but one that I found compelling was stopping at the 50th anniversary special. That's like right before Matt Smith regenerates. And it's because like when we first meet Eccleston, he is just fresh out of the Time War, and he thinks that all of the Time Lords like died.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he's the last one. And then the 50th anniversary special, it wraps up that story arc like that they've been doing these entire years. And it wraps it up, and so you can stop.
Okay.
And so they kind of start fresh with Capaldi. And so I'm actually probably going to do that. I don't think I'm going to watch Matt's regeneration. I don't like the Christmas special that happens in any way, so I'm probably just going to stop.
I just can't remember any of the fine details of any of it. Like, it's been long enough to where...
You know what? You should watch it, live tweet it to me, and then we'll talk about it more. Like,
I mean,
next
text
week.
you?
Yes.
What do you mean live tweet?
Live text.
Okay.
Like, I'm watching, oh my god, Eccleston is blah, 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 like, while you're watching it.
I'm going to watch it, and then I'm going to go to a play. And then in the middle of the play, I'm going to take my old Gateway desktop.
Your desktop.
Plug it in. Get my router, and I'm going to look around for a plug-in to the phone.
Oh my god.
And then I'm going to fire up my AOL.
Please.
And then I'm going to draft you an email.
Please.
That I'm going to schedule to send tomorrow. To be really annoying.
Yeah, well. I can't get over it.
Know, it's
why?
So dumb.
Why are
like,
you? Why?
Dumb ways to like. Be
First
annoying.
of all, why are you bringing your laptop to the theater? Second of all, if you really need to check your email, go to the lobby. Third of all, don't do what you did. What?
I really want to meet this guy because I have a feeling also that he's one of those guys that laughs really loud when you trip.
Or just laughs really loud in general.
Anytime that you like trip or bump into something, they laugh at you like they're 12.
I feel like he's also just an aloof guy. Like, just doesn't understand your surroundings, that there are other people around
he
you.
does. I just think he thinks he's too important.
I don't get it, especially because, like, in the same article, they're going on about how, like, standing ovations are not rude, but, you know, like, ostentatious. And, like, cheapen the thing. And I'm like, how are you gonna do that? And in the same breath, one of your citizens is checking his email. I feel like if people can check their email during performances, I can stand up and
I don't know,
do a standing ovation.
Like, all the times that I go to someplace and the actors come out afterwards, I don't necessarily consider that like a standing. I mean, I know technically it's a standing ovation, but I'm not standing and clapping because, oh, this is such an awesome thing. I just think that if someone's going to take the time and perform for me, the least I can do is stand up at the end.
Well, that's
and like be gracious about it.
That's the point of the article, I guess, and it's saying that to them it cheapens the performance. For us, it's polite, but not only that, it's rude if you don't.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like
It's
a matter
just a
of like,
different-
oh, this is so awesome. But like, I think that's different from like the kind of standing ovations that you would get like when it really is a good one. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would feel different.
I feel like, I mean, like, when people stand up, they like, yeah.
Yeah, they're
and then
not like enthusiastic about it.
And then when, like, the main character of someone who did really well shows up, they're like, yeah!
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's different.
That
you
I
know?
get.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I find myself in my head even thinking, okay, well, they're just a small character, so I can't clap as loud as the...
Right, exactly. That's what I think, too. I'm like, you have to save your biggest applause
to regulate
for,
it.
like, the woman
main
who played Elle Woods.
Yeah.
When we saw it, I think she was fantastic. I think she was better than the Broadway.
I
Elle.
agree.
And we've said that before, but I really do mean that.
'Cause
And I
I-
don't remember her name. but
I
she
went
was
and
phenomenal.
bought the streaming whatever Legally Blonde soundtrack so I could listen to it in my car.
Oh yeah.
And every time she comes on, I'm like, God, I wish I had a soundtrack of the other girl.
Right, because like, I mean, she was bubbly, but she wasn't like deranged. like the woman on the recording.
Yeah, the recording is more.
She's quite over the top, and that's what she chose to do with the character, and I do respect that. However, I much prefer how R.L. played her.
I liked it. 10 out of 10 would do it again.
I mean, she's probably going to be in other stuff.
I wonder if she's in Into the Woods.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't been to. I think that was the last musical I went to. Actually,
It has been for me. It's the last. Actually, it's not the last thing because I had a
Was
friend who was
that,
in.
what, a year and a half ago? That was spring of 22, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that was a while ago.
I haven't been out much since then, but I went to a play at the community theater because a friend was in it. But other than that,
Oh, what friend?
Suter Meister. She was in.
I don't think I know her.
I can't remember the name of the play.
I know a lot of people who do theater around here just because I do karaoke with them just by chance. But
she's a late bloomer, so she's never done it before. She's my age. I went to school with her. I don't think she's ever been in a play before.
I love
and like
that.
the last year, the year before, it's like she's decided she's going to start trying, and so now she's in all sorts of plays. It's
I
kind of
love
awesome to watch.
that.
Yeah,
I acted as a kid. I really liked it, but my schedule doesn't really allow for.
I tried out in high school, never got into anything, and then I played
Oh.
the lead in a community theater.
It wasn't in high school, but when I was like a kid,
Yeah.
like when I was, I think ages 9 to 13. That's when I acted. But and I did audition for a play in high school, and they had you audition in front of everyone, and I was a really shy kid.
Yeah.
And I was already in a new school, and I was way, like, out of my element, and I did not do very well, and so I kind of gave up on it, and I kind of regret it, but also, I was, like, a painfully shy kid.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind getting back into the whole theater thing, but I don't know that I could memorize lines.
See, I actually have a really good memory for stuff like that, so I wouldn't be concerned about any of that. I would be concerned about, like, staging and like where to stand and
Well,
like
the director tells you.
and the other technicalities. I know, but like still, it would be.
Well, we do have a thriving theater, amateur theater.
I know.
Back in my day, all you had was Iowa City Community Theater, and that was about it. Now it's like there's four
like
or five
3 of them,
places. Yeah.
And then there's the Young Footlighters. That's
been around forever.
That's
too.
the
Yeah.
troupe that I.
My sister did a couple things with them a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what she was in, but
I remember
when she was a kid.
The first musical I did was like this vaudeville, like this vaudeville act.
Mm-hmm.
I can't describe it any better than that. It's just a vaudeville act, and I auditioned with my dad accompanying me on the guitar, and I sang "Where Are You Christmas" from The Grinch, like the 2002 one with with Jim Carrey. And it landed me a solo.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal.
That's how Taylor Swift got her start.
Singing "Where Are You Christmas"?
Yes! That's what I heard!
Not quite.
No?
No, and then I really liked acting. I remember, and then my last play we were doing the Velveteen Rabbit, and I was the wise old rabbit at the tender age of 13. So I'm like, maybe it's time to stop doing young footlighters if I'm being cast as the old roles.
Gotta go to teenage footlighters.
No, I don't think there's a thing as teenage
You
footlighters.
go directly into...
No, usually, like, I mean, I don't think that really exists because you go into high school and you, like, act in high school.
Or you do the community theater.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody call up and tell me if there's, like, a teenage theater troupe. Actually, wait, there is. I've seen a teen production of In the Heights. I'm so stupid.
Was it a high school thing, though?
No, it was like a community thing. I don't remember what it was called. Maybe Iowa City Youth Theater or something like that. But the thing is, I answered my own question. There is a teenage version of it. There's also wherever you act in school.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think my brain could remember lines. Because I remember when I had a role when I was like 21, I had a hard time remembering my lines. So,
What play was it?
Dial M for Murder.
Oh.
And I played the Grace Kelly role.
Hey.
Mostly because I don't think anyone else with long blonde hair actually auditioned. So
did you have blonde hair back
I had
then?
long blonde hair.
Oh.
Thin and beautiful, looked just like Grace Kelly. Out of all the people that auditioned, I looked the most.
I want to see pictures of that.
I actually somewhere I have I'll have to dig it up, but yeah. Actually, I think my sister uploaded the video of the whole play to YouTube somewhere.
Oh, really?
Which is pretty funny. But anyway, it was fun. It was a fun experience. I really enjoyed it. But like, God, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I don't forget the nerves beforehand. I don't know that I want to do that again.
I feel like if I acted again, I would not want to be like a principal character. I would want to be in the chorus. It's the same amount of fun, but like half of the responsibility. Mm-hmm. At least to start out. And if you're in like the chorus or like the background or whatever, like you don't have all those lines to memorize. I think my penultimate show was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I was what was it? Like a cheetah in Aslan's army, and I had like 4 lines. It was great. Because I got the costume, like all the kids got to choose what side they wanted to be on, Aslan or the Ice Queen. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I want to be the good guy. And so, like, you got to choose your animal. It was so cool. Yeah.
I did get into one play in high school, and it was Picnic. I don't know if you're... No. It's like an old classic. You know, like the high schools can only get the really old plays.
The old stuff, yeah.
And I was a very, very small, like, like basically a role that they kind of split a small role up into like 2 parts.
Oh yeah.
And so me and another gal played the 2 teachers that were in town or whatever. I think I maybe had like 2 lines, but it was so much. It was so much fun. It was a lot more fun being like you had to go to every single rehearsal, even though you didn't really have a part. But like,
I mean, you gotta know what's going on.
Yeah.
I understand.
So yes, I do agree with you that it would be better to be a small part.
That's what my mom said too, because she was also in shows, both as like a chorus member and then like a character with a name, and she said that the chorus was much more fun.
But I'm a Leo, so I really want to be the front.
Yeah, so you
that's weird too, because
hog all the attention.
I don't think horoscopes really say much, but I am somebody who wants to have attention, but then I also get really like I'll avoid being the center of attention at all cost.
Interesting.
Like if I come in, like let's say it's my birthday and I planned a birthday party dinner at a restaurant somewhere, I will not sit at the head of the table.
Oh yeah.
Even though I was like I'll sit off to the side because I don't want to be the center. I want people thinking about me. I just don't want them looking at me, which is why I like social media so much, because you can kind of be the center of attention.
I mean, yeah, you can
without
post stuff and
bothering like the flow of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Anyway.
Except I don't want people looking. I don't like that there's a camera on me. I mean, I like that I'm far away and nobody can really see me.
I guess I don't even.
I talked about this on the off air with Cindy that I don't love being on camera, which is why I'm not. If it's just my regular music.
Only
show.
the back of my head is, so enjoy my little twisty. Speaking of plays, though, I was remembering. I don't know if you saw the TikTok of the kid that gets out to his mom's car and he's like, "Mom," he's English, and I'm not going to do the English accent, but he's like, "Mom, I got a role in the Nativity play. It's a classic," and she's like, "Oh, really?" And he, of course, is like 3, 4 maybe tops. And she's like, "Oh, are you baby Jesus?" "No." And she like goes through all the main roles. He's door holder number 4 or 3. I don't know. Maybe it was 3. It was so cute. He was so excited.
That sounds like that Love Actually quote. You know, we've gotten our parts in the Nativity play. Okay, what are you? I'm the lobster. The lobster? Yeah, first lobster. There was more than one lobster at the birth of Jesus? Duh. Because they have to create roles for these kids.
Well, that's why he was a door holder. And then because TikTok is so amazing, there's an adult who did like, you know how like they do the split screen of like the kid doing the thing and then an adult will dress up like the kid and do the same thing and it's just as cute. That was my week before Christmas.
If you come across that video, will you send it to me?
I will. Yeah.
I want to see it.
I'm sure it'll pop up like a million more times with different variations, but I'm door holder number 4.
Number 4. To be fair, there's only 5 people in that nativity. There's Mary, Joseph, Jesus, who's a baby. And then the 3 wise men, that's 6. And then a bunch of animals.
What about Drummer Boy?
No.
7.
Drummer Boy wasn't there, was he?
There's a whole song about him.
I thought he was just drumming. I didn't think he was at the birth of Jesus.
Right afterwards.
Do you know what? I have not paid a lot of attention to the lyrics to Little Drummer Boy.
Come, they told me. Pa-rum-pa-pum-pum.
Okay, so he comes
after. I don't know any more of that.
So he comes after. Like, the actual nativity scene, there's only 6 people and then, like, 3 animals.
Do you think that the wise men were at the birth? They came after.
Did they?
Yeah.
I have not read the Bible, dude.
Okay, I haven't really read it specifically, but I am a recovering Catholic who went to several years of catechism.
Do you know what? They are always included in the nativity scene. Why are they included?
Because everybody's there after the birth to celebrate.
Okay.
They're not there watching.
I thought they were there, like, for moral support.
While she's giving birth?
Yeah, they're in a barn. I thought, like...
I think they arrived afterwards.
They probably did. I don't know. I went to vacation Bible school when I was a kid and retained none of it. I think actually at vacation Bible school they are under the impression you already know like the basics.
Yeah.
But I didn't go to church.
Oh, did you go because your mom needed babysitting that week? Is that what?
I think they like to blame it on my grandma.
Okay.
They're like, Grandma made you go. Mama made you go.
During whenever I think it's during the summer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's for 1 week in the summer.
Yeah, and we would go to whose church was it? My mom was Baptist.
It was the First Presbyterian Church.
I know, but I'm trying to think of it was a church in Wellman that we would go to like the Sunday school basically for like a week. I thought, but it was a Baptist church, I think, or maybe it was the Mennonite church. I don't know. All those churches do those Sunday school, those week-long Sunday schools.
Yeah,
to get your kids.
Yeah,
in the cult.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I was like 13, I kind of aged out of the program, but they wanted to keep the teens like in, and so even though like you were still a camper, you were like considered like a floater or a helper.
You're like a camp counselor.
Yeah, like a junior camp counselor to the kids.
CIT is what we called it. It kind of.
Do you know? So I started doing that at 13, like in junior high, and then we went into like Bible study class, and I actually, for once, paid attention to what they were telling the kids, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I believe all that, and so that was the last year I went.
They're like, trying to train you to be the church lady.
Yes, and it didn't work.
Good for
because I only went to Vacation Bible School. I didn't go to church. If I had grown up in the church, I think I would still be a Christian.
No, you wouldn't be.
You don't think so?
No.
Interesting. Why do you think
that?
Well,
I don't know, because I grew up Catholic, and it's all so weird. Like, I remember even as a kid thinking, why aren't there any women up there? You know what I mean? Like, so even as a kid, I'm like, this is weird.
Do you know, but that's the difference between Catholicism and Protestantism.
Other churches, yeah.
Because I went to church a few times with my friend in high school, just because I wanted to hang out with her, and she was at church. So, and she went to a church with like a female pastor or whatever they're called, and I thought that was cool because I'm like, I know you can't do that in Catholicism.
You cannot. And when I was going through like a couple years ago, I went to multiple churches, right? Mm-hmm. And I loved seeing women up at the pulpit, but it was still weird to me because I'm like, I grew up not even realizing that was. I mean, I knew that was an option. I just knew it wasn't with the Catholics, who are so backwards in everything anyway. But I don't know. Maybe you would still be a Christian. You can still be a Christian if you want to be.
I'm not though. I feel like not to get too heavy on this silly little radio show.
I just think, okay, so Neil deGrasse Tyson, you know who that is.
Yes,
I remember seeing an interview when he was talking about faith and how faith and the belief in God is like the gap between what we know and what we don't know. Mm-hmm. And as we learn more and more and more, there's less of a gap. So there's less of a need for trying to explain why things happen. Mm-hmm. You know, because like 1,000 years ago, we didn't even know how to make fire. You know what I mean? Or 2,000 or whatever it was. But like 1,000 years ago, like things would happen, and like we didn't have science back then to figure out.
1,000 years ago, Cindy, that was the Roman Empire.
Okay, well, this is my Roman Empire.
No, that was 2,000. That was 2,000 years ago. Never mind. Whatever. Go ahead.
They didn't even have hospitals for baby Jesus, so there was no science back then.
Well, they tried to get into the inn and it was full. That's why they were in the barn. They weren't just in the barn because they're like, let's.
Well, we should really finish by talking about the real MVP of religion.
What?
Mary.
Mary the Virgin or Mary Magdalene?
The young girl who convinced everybody that she was a virgin.
Yeah.
And yet popped out a baby. And then convinced everybody. Because she was the one hyping him. You know that, right?
Hyping what?
He would be... I'm 100% sure that she was the one that put him out as the prophet. My son's the prophet.
Well she's
the one that started the whole thing. And I love her for it. I just think we should be following Saint Mary and not Jesus. Because Mary's really the one that made it all happen.
I agree.
And back in that day, to convince people that you're a virgin and pregnant, like, that's amazing to me.
Wasn't Mary also supposed to be, like...
She's really young.
15.
Yeah, I think she was
most.
really young.
Yeah.
I
don't like that.
I think in my...
How old was Joseph? I don't like that.
He was older.
I don't like that.
I feel like he was in his 30s, but...
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't know where I know that from. But, that's what they did back in the day. Back in the good old days.
Not the good old days.
And he had to stand up.
So, why do you think was there not another inn?
No, I
they
think
could have gone
because it was... I'm going to say something. And I know it's funny.
What?
I know I'm not stupid. It was Christmas Eve, so they were all full up.
Yeah.
Because Christmas Eve is the day before the
true.
birth of Jesus.
Yes.
See how that was funny? I had to explain it.
Wait, so the wise men weren't there?
The wise men came afterwards. They saw the big...
Were all those animals
there was
there
a
in the barn?
star involved? Well, I think the animals were there just by default. I don't think they were there because of...
They were in the barn because it's a barn.
Yeah.
So maybe the little drummer boy should be in the nativity. If we're getting all these people why not? You know how in the song "Do You Hear What I Hear" he's like telling all the people, like the little lamb to the shepherd boy to the mighty king.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't they be there too?
Sure.
I don't know. That would be a really
I don't know. All I know is that there's a
big
star, and they all followed the Star of Bethlehem.
Yes.
And they walked for, I don't know how...
I thought it was
Are they three kings or three wise men? I've heard both ways.
I have also heard it both ways.
But if they're three kings, what land are they coming from?
I guess kings can be wise men.
Like a short king, tall king.
Wise men, yeah. I don't know where they're coming from, Cindy.
And if they're so wise, why are they bringing gold and myrrh for a baby?
They're for the parents. Frankincense and myrrh. What's frankincense? I
don't know. I think
is that
what's
like
myrrh?
a scent?
What's myrrh?
I don't know.
I remember asking my mom that. She's like, it was just very valuable back then. That was a spice that was very valuable.
Oh, it was a spice.
I think is what she said.
And then is frankincense like incense? Like, well, I only think of that because incense, frankincense.
I know, and I know I've had frankincense like oil, like.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's like a scent, and then gold for sure. I understand why you would bring
makes
gold.
Sense.
Yeah, gold makes sense.
But like silver, gold, and rubies.
Yeah, like why are you bringing it? Here, Mary, you probably stink. Take this frankincense.
I don't know. Maybe it was good for.
Is myrrh like savory? Is it sweet?
I have no idea.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. But I would have been ticked if somebody showed up after I gave birth with crap gifts like that.
All these people showing up after I give birth in a barn. What are you doing here?
I know. Like,
leave me alone.
Do you think that really happened? Again, talking about fiction that isn't really like nonfiction. That's not really nonfiction. It's not really historic. It's a good story, though.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate meet cute. I was just following that star, and I ran into...
That's not a meet cute. Mary and Joseph already knew each other.
No, I'm saying like the wise men. I
Oh,
guess
you
it's
think
not a romantical thing. But it's still like a random meeting.
So you think the wise men didn't know each other?
Maybe not. I don't know.
I thought they were like three...
No, I'm saying like they just were following a star, and then they ran into...
I thought they were like three besties that were going together. That's all. That's what I always thought. Again,
Obviously,
I've never read the Bible.
Questions have been asked of the wise men, like, why were you all together in the first place? How did you find each other? There was no social media back then, so it's not like they
I need to go to a religion class that isn't going to make people want to convert me. I just want to know.
And what happened to Jesus after he rose from the dead 3 days later? Nothing else was written.
Well, that's the thing to ponder.
And also, nothing was written about his life from his birth until teens.
We know he was a carpenter.
I know, but that's when he was 30. He was older when he became a carpenter. But nothing was written.
I guess it's not important.
There's no Degrassi high of Jesus.
Do you know what? He's either a baby or on the cross. Pretty much. When it comes to things I know about Jesus.
There's a book called, I think it's called Biff. And it's fictionalized, obviously, account of Jesus's best friend, Biff.
What? No.
Basically telling the story of Jesus in his teen years.
Oh.
It's really cute. I read it many years ago, but anyway, it's bedtime.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta ponder everything that we've just talked about.
And if y'all know the Three Wise Men story, we really don't want to hear about it, do we?
I do.
Okay, call in next week if we're here.
But don't try to convert me back to Christianity. Just answer the question. Anyway, we're gonna go now. Thanks for listening. Bye, Cindy.
Bye.
From the Hertine and Stocker Studios in the heart of the